yourselves and where you live and all that.
Well, I'm Dwight Waldron, and
Yeah,
you are?
please introduce.
You are Naoko Waldron, Naoko Suzuki, and my wife. We live in Tokyo, Japan, outside of city center, maybe about 25 kilometers outside of the center of the city.
And what's it been like living in Tokyo with the event that happened in the nuclear power plant, and how has it affected your daily lives? What difference has it made?
Daily lives. Well, let's see. Going backwards from the moment, you have to be very careful about several things. The main thing is food, of course. You have to be careful where the meat comes from, right?
Yeah.
But they've been very careful there to label all of the foods and all of the packaging so the consumers know where things are coming from. And I think it's fairly reliable information. You can trust, don't you think, the labels on the packages?
I basically trust.
Basically trust,
Yeah.
right. So meat is
And the
difficult.
vegetable?
Vegetables, where they come from. We're basically trying to buy from the south of Japan. Nobody wants to buy from the north of Japan.
That would be defined as how far from the nuclear
Fukushima,
plant.
kind of
How
central.
far roughly?
At Tokyo, we're what, 250 kilometers from Fukushima? Right? So that's
Or
about 100 miles
three-
plus.
Maybe 300.
Yeah.
150 miles maybe.
Yeah.
The actual radiation count in Tokyo is about the same as it has historically been. It peaked a little bit immediately after the incident, and then it's come back down. So we're not so much concerned about radiation in our daily lives as coming down on us from the atmosphere or the environment itself, as much as what we take in terms of food products and in some cases even materials and things like that.
So you watch your food intake.
Right. You want to know where food is coming from.
That would be the
Yeah.
greatest source of, and water perhaps?
Of course, water. Yeah, you want to be careful where that's coming from. The water supplies are a question in the north part of Japan because much of that water is coming from lakes and rivers that have been, possibly contaminated by the incident. For ourselves, though, we're lucky because our water. We're just at the edge of Tokyo water district of some kind, so our water actually
Other
comes from the
source, yes.
south. So we've been lucky about that. But if you're elsewhere in the city or in northern Japan, that's a huge concern, is the water quality. So a lot of people are buying the bottled water.
Yeah, that's why.
The bottled water from
bottom
where?
of the water
From where?
from the south.
Of Japan? Do you import it from other countries?
As well, yeah.
Water?
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you do that personally? Buy water from?
No, because our water is coming from the south, so we're just still taking it right out of the tap.
Uh-huh.
And water's expensive too, so there's that consideration.
Yeah. Suddenly, everything which related the nuclear things, like water, meat, safety water become price suddenly go up.
Oh, yes.
And also sold out.
Oh,
Many days we couldn't buy we couldn't buy the bottle of water because everybody crazy.
Yeah,
about
immediately
buy.
after the accident, supplies were a big issue. Food, of course, getting just basics like water was a big problem. It was gone. You just couldn't find it.
Especially the mother who has the baby or small children, all those people try to buy the bottle of water for just in case. That is the most safety water. That's what they thought. Because we don't know what is the safe or what is dangerous. We really don't know even the
Tap water?
tap water is safe or not. We really couldn't get the actual information. So the mothers who has kids, everybody tried to use the
Safest,
safe water.
yeah.
So we couldn't sell the bottle of water. All gone following 1 month or 2 months.
Yeah, but that's still
Yeah.
a big issue for mothers with children. I mean, the
yeah.
whole radiation
Children are
thing
Yeah,
is
it's
huge
very-
for them. They want get some Geiger counters and test their food, at that moment to make sure it's really safe.
How about fish? Do you eat fish?
Oh my God, that's going to be a disaster because of all the radiation that's leaked into the oceans. Now we're just not going to be able to know
No, that's why that
without
area
measuring.
are not doing the fishing.
Right.
Not in that
They are
area. Yeah, right.
And also those people, of course, check the radiation, everything, and only the no radiation
No radiation. Fish.
No radiation.
But you got
to
check
the
every
market.
fish.
Yeah, everybody's
Who knows how far it's
so.
gone.
Now,
serious
let me
about
ask
that.
you about the supply. So, roughly how many nuclear plants are there in Japan? Do you know?
I thought the number was 54.
50 something.
50
I
something.
thought.
I think.
Over 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, are all of them still operating?
No.
No, I think we've closed some 80+% of the plants.
France.
And you've covered that by being
Using
more
less-
judicious in
Exactly.
your use?
Right. Everyone is cooperating to use less electricity. The utilities companies, very proactively let us know how much we're using and what days we need to cut down, things like that. Now we get emails that tell her, we're using too much electricity and we have to come back down.
If the moment come, it's dangerous level, it's another 2% left. We can use it. That moment that we get the email and please everybody try to
Cut back.
Okay.
But we found that we've survived on so much less electricity.
And how
Even
did
by
you?
cutting it down that much?
How'd you do the cutting down? Put in.
Turn off the lights. The cities turned off the street lights and outdoor lighting that was not necessary. The stores, who were always completely overlit, turned down their volume by
Yeah.
huge percentage.
Did you reduce the wattages in your bulbs at all?
Not so much that, it's just not using.
Being careful that you
Yeah, for example.
didn't have them on if you didn't need them.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. We always turn on the light bulb outside of the entrance.
Oh,
Then when we go to bed, we
Yeah.
turn off things like
Yeah,
that.
the whole
It's,
neighborhood, like all of the outdoor greeting lamps, have been
All
off
out.
since and remain so
Yeah.
since the earthquake.
Right.
Over in Tokyo proper, where the main section is, what's it called, the kind of the big shopping.
Yeah.
The Ginza.
With all the
Yeah.
signs,
Yeah.
where
looks
it's
like
very-
Vegas.
Yeah.
Did
That's
they turn that down?
Turn down.
very subdued. Yeah,
That's
Turn
go down there.
It's very
much
dark.
quieter, much darker. There's still people coming,
Uh-huh.
but it's quite
And
subdued.
But you-
freeway, Tokyo, the road, freeway, we have all the what can I
Oh,
say?
yeah.
The street lights.
Street lights everywhere. So
There-
before the earthquake,
Those turned off?
everything turned off. It's
Yeah.
dark, but we feel this is nice.
Ah,
Everybody said this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just the headlight, and the people try to drive carefully. Before we can see very bright, and people drive faster, but the people be careful, drive, and kind of nice.
So let me understand then, by cutting back the number of nuclear plants that are operating, you've reduced the number of plants that are producing electricity, and yet you have not experienced a number of blackouts. You have
Very
always had electricity pretty much
much.
whenever you wanted it or needed it. So are you saying then perhaps in our country, if we close down a couple of the plants that are in the ocean, subject to big tidal wave or whatever their danger might be, that we could get along by being judicious with our use that wouldn't affect us really at all?
Absolutely, Japan proves the point. I mean, we're just wasting huge amounts of electricity, and this is the proof.
Thank you. I think that's the main message that we'd like to present.